There we go. Okay. I'm sorry, could you make your motion again?
Motion to call the meeting to order.
I second that. All in favor? Aye. Public speak time. Is there anybody here?
Hi, my name is Fernando Perez. I come from El Comalito, right here in Easthampton. We just opened up a couple months. I'm here because I'm trying to ask for to come back to another meeting because we weren't able to get our permission in, our license in for this meeting because I believe it was supposed to turn in last Thursday.
Okay, what, for a entertainment license?
Yes.
Okay, and you did not request one when you got your liquor license, correct?
No.
There is not one on record with us?
We just came back and asked for one like a week ago, and I just got told that it was supposed to be dropped in last Thursday, to be able to be in this meeting.
Okay.
But that wasn't able to be done, unfortunately. So I'm here asking.
Okay. Is it my understanding, though, you went ahead even though you did not have the license and had your event?
That's true. The reason is Anna, which is the owner of the restaurant, I spoke with her and she told me that she was the one that came through. And she had said that we had the permission to be open until 2 in the morning. And then she said that since we didn't know it was gonna, we couldn't have like a lot of people on dancing and things like that, then we could not go on and getting a DJ, which is it was just us there. It was more like a personal thing. Like no one didn't even really show up. It was like just 20 people there. It was just mainly more of the staff. And I had posted it something, and I had found out. I found out after 3 days after that we weren't able to have that occur. But yeah, so it was just mainly a little bit more personal type thing that we had going on that night.
Okay. Were there people from the public there, though?
Not from the public, it was just ourselves.
So your doors were locked and nobody could come in and out and nobody was purchasing drinks or anything?
No, there was just us there.
Okay. Who did you speak to?
So I believe it was Anna came in to me, I think Monday, the 28th. She said that they wanted to have entertainment, DJ, and dancing for Day of the Dead.
Okay.
That Saturday. I told her we could not throw together a board meeting in 3 days. And that moving forward, she could come back before I gave her the entertainment license and the printout from our website. Saying that she brought that back to me before Thursday, I could put it on the agenda, so as of this meeting, they could move forward with an entertainment. We would sign off on an entertainment license tonight, so they would have it for the year. I made it clear they couldn't do their event on that Saturday. She said, okay. She didn't come back with the application. They did the event on Saturday. Fernando came in at 4:30 this evening, looking to fill out the application for the license, and I told him to come today and ask for a special meeting and see how the board wanted to move forward.
And Fernando, was there a DJ there on Saturday?
It was just we were playing our music, but we have our own speaker that they're already like plugged in, and it's just like we were just playing like little music for ourselves.
But you guys didn't close the restaurant. You were open to the public.
Well, we were, but not no one even came in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I wasn't sure. I didn't know that it was.
well, we've got two things going on here. You were open past your time for your liquor license. I think your liquor license is till 1 o'clock, am I correct?
I think it is till 2 a.m. That's printed on last year's licenses.
Are you sure?
I can go grab it.
Yeah, if you could go grab it. And are you the manager?
I'm one of the managers. I'm always there.
Are you the manager of record, though, for the liquor license?
Not for the liquor license, no.
You can sit down for a moment.
Yeah, Monday through Saturday is till 2.
I just wanted to
Emma
make sure.
is the holder of the license.
All right, we can, well, licenses renew in December for the starting of the year. So there is a month left. And usually what we will do, if it's past 6 months, we will do an adjustment on what's due for the license. So I think if the other board member agrees with me on this, you need to get an application in for the remainder of this year. Sorry. And we will figure out what that would be equal to 2 months' time. That's what the charge will be for that license. And then you also need to bring your application in, though, for next year. So you need to get an application for the remainder of this year and your application that would be a renewal of that application for next year. So you'll be paying $100 for next year, and we'll figure out what the 2 months would be for.
I could do that.
You can, I would say, like $25.
Okay.
So it would be a check for $125, all right?
Okay.
But you need to get everything in here for the next meeting, which will be the first Monday in December. And she has to have everything like 2 weeks ahead of time so she can get her paperwork all in order.
And that's in your renewal for this license that's due to me by the 22nd of this month that I sent out 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay?
But you can't do DJ entertaining or things like that unless, do you have something planned for November that you need us to have a special meeting for you?
Well, no, you can definitely wait until December 1st. That's no problem. You won't occur anything else. Nothing else will happen throughout until that time comes through.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you in agreement with that?
Sorry, I had a question.
Sure.
The paperwork that we need to fill out, is it possible for me to bring it in instead of mailing it?
Yeah, you can bring it to me, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
No,
If you have any questions, please give Lindsay a call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay?
I can head out or I can stay.
Yep, you can stay or head, whatever you want to do. You want to listen to the rest of the meeting or what?
I can if it's
Yeah,
okay with
it's a
y'all.
public meeting.
All right. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the minutes from the October meeting?
Is public speak time done?
He's on the agenda.
He's on the
Yeah.
agenda, okay. Motion to approve minutes.
I second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have no public hearings for tonight. We have no special one-days. And now we have new and old business. So I'm assuming you're here for Chris Rogers?
Yes, I am. Ready for me?
Yes, we are.
Hi, Joseph Solowski, attorney with Melnick Law Offices. Nice to meet you all. Thank
Hi.
you all for your time. Here for Mr. Rogers, asking for an extension, I believe, a little bit in late on this. You guys know probably more than I do. He had purchased a liquor license from the establishment right next to Eastworks at sale, and he had been diligently working towards creating a business, and he's actually incorporated his business several months ago. He's gone through the TIPS program to get his serving credentials so that he can be a server, and at the last minute his lease negotiations fell through for his property. Since that time, Mr. Rogers has got an accepted offer on a piece of property right across from Eastworks where there used to be a gas station. I believe it was 95 Pleasant Street.
No, that was the parcel next to was the gas station. There was an old, what was a quote, hotel in that place.
You guys know better than I, certainly. So he's got a purchase. He's got an accepted offer on that property. He's got agreements with for financing with the bank. He's working with small business administration loan. He's got a building design with a prefabricated builder, steel frame, out in Colorado. They've got some sketches here of just the frame of the building, and he's got a design. He knows what the setbacks are going to be. He's going to have it's going to be a 63 by 45 building that he's planning. The setback 15 feet from the lot lines, 15 feet from the street. And he's planning on building on a slab, a steel building with a pool hall. So a pool hall, as you imagine, is a big empty space for the most part. It's not a lot, he's not building a dozen apartments, something that's going to take a long time. He's going to put a slab down, I imagine carpet it, steel building, and a big empty space for a pool hall. And he's doing all this as fast as he possibly can. He understands the board's a little bit confused as to he was going in one direction and now he's going in another, but he's requesting the extension to June so that he can get this building built and get his liquor license attached to this property so that he can move forward. If there are any questions, I've talked to him extensively about the project and about his plans and things like that. So if you guys have any questions, I can certainly...
Oh, I do. So, has he pulled a building permit yet?
He has not yet.
Okay, has he spoken to other boards in the town, specifically the Conservation Commission, in regards to if he can build there?
So I don't believe he's spoken to the Conservation Commission. He's spoken with the EPA in regards to the property, and he's looked at the maps of where the setbacks should be for wetlands. We do acknowledge that there are wetlands out back. The Manhan River is
You've
out
got a
back.
200-foot riverfront, and you've got floodplain, so
Yeah.
he cannot bring any fill in there.
Yeah.
Because there's no place to,
And he doesn't believe there will be any fill necessary. He believes he's at the current proper grade. It's pretty much flat. It's currently wooded now. There hasn't been anything there in a little while, but it looks like there's a driveway in, and it's fairly flat. He plans on putting his building near the edge of the road where it is flat and not disturbing the back portion.
where are they gonna park?
I think along the side. His building is not enormous. It's 63 by 45 is what he's planning. So that's
So how
not
many
an
parking
enormous-
spaces, how many people does he plan on having in there?
He plans on having 10 pool tables. So with 10 pool tables, I mean, a couple people play on a pool table. It's not like he's going to have
So that's 40 people at least, you have 4 people, 2 teams playing at each pool table. That's
somewhere
40.
around that. I believe he's got plans for bathrooms. So
So he
to
would
give
have
some
to-
light, bathrooms would be 2 stalls in the female bathroom along with 2 sinks. In the male bathroom, 1 stall and 2 urinals. That's kind of the size that he's planning for.
So does he have a site plan there?
He doesn't have a site plan yet, but he's got some sketches. He's not he hasn't quite gotten there, but he's got some sketches here. And this shows the street level is here, so he's going to have 15-foot setback from the street. He's going to have the front of the building here, and it's going to be 63 feet along the edge, wide, and then the front of the building is going to be open, I believe, with glass like this. So I guess the front of the building will be on the side, if that makes any sense to you. So that'll be along the side. So I think you'll pull in, park on one side, and the building will be more or less on the other side of the lot, if that makes any sense to you. It's going to kind of be the long side of the building is going to go along the street, and the short side of the building. And I think the lot is sufficiently sized for that. And he's looked at that. He's been talking to the builder of the building, and they've done buildings in Massachusetts. Even though they are out of state, they partner with people in state. They come in, they build the building prefabricated, they partner with people in the state, and they come out and they erect the building and do all that, get the necessary approvals, permits, whether it may require an architectural approval. We're aware of that. I'm not 100% certain if a contract supervisor would be able to handle it or an architect, but we're aware that that is a possibility that we're looking at. So they need, the company is used to dealing with different states, and they have Massachusetts regulations. They certainly have no problem in meeting all Massachusetts codes for the.
So they'll be
subdivision and
filing
construction.
an order of conditions with the Conservation Commission.
I don't know if we need an order of conditions.
I'm pretty sure you do. I chaired the Conservation Commission for 15 years, and the building that was there prior to, they had to come before us.
They did.
Yeah.
That's certainly something we have talked about a little bit.
And I really think he needs to do his due diligence before he moves forward with this, because you are in the floodplain and you are within 200 feet of the Manhan River.
Yeah, and I think
And you're also going to have to cover the Endangered Species Act in this.
I did look at the map, actually, for the endangered species, and the endangered species there is some endangered species map, the National Heritage map, and it touches the absolute back corner of the parcel.
You'd still have to file though if it's on the property.
Yeah, and I don't think we're gonna disturb that area whatsoever, so I don't think that's gonna be a huge problem.
How about planning board approval?
You'd have to have the planning board that's out of our jurisdiction.
Has he been in contact with? I told him
He's
to
talked to
get
people,
in contact
I don't think he's got
with
anything formal, and I believe, it was a commercial property, he believes, we haven't quite gotten there yet as far as, we think it should be allowed without any special
Well, the
permit.
problem being, like, previous things that have been done with that property, there was an existing building that
Mhm.
was somewhat, lack of a better word, grandfathered in, because anybody that was doing anything wasn't changing the footprint of the building that was there.
Mhm.
Now there's no longer a footprint, it's been, knocked down, and he's definitely changing the footprint. So things that others have been able to do in the past, he may not be able to do.
Yeah, and I did speak to him about getting it, at the very minimum, we were gonna get a delineation and see where the wetlands were. He didn't seem to think, and I've looked at the topographical maps on the state website, the Oliver state website. I don't know if you're familiar with that. We've got topographical maps, and you can see where certain setbacks are and things like that. And we do know the very back of the parcel is wet, but we do think we're not there. But without a wetlands delineation, we certainly. But we did talk about that being certainly the first step that we should take, and we weren't sure if we would need to go into further steps with orders of conditions or notice of intent or anything along those lines.
I do want to bring up the purchase agreement on the land that Chris told me happened, and that they told DOR happened, so DOR said that they would need to provide that for them to consider an extension, so I just want to make sure that
So
you do have that.
I've got a sign, let me see if I.
That was defended
My
for
understanding,
DOR.
you just said they only have an offer. He told
It's a
us
signed offer.
He
So
told us he
it is-
already purchased it.
Yeah.
It's a signed offer, he's got a right to purchase it at this point, without any additional,
When's the closing date scheduled for?
I believe it was December 16, I believe, off the top of my head.
DOR needed that.
So DOR, and let me just check, I maybe don't have it. So DOR did give me, and I've got a few copies of this for you guys. DOR, after speaking to him, did get what they felt necessary. DOR was willing to go forward with it. DOR did not feel it was an issue. He wrote me a letter. Let me just check my facts here. See if I'm. And I absolutely could provide you, I don't think I have it. That's been the one thing I forgot to get. I could absolutely provide you with a signed copy of the purchase and, I'm not the purchase, a signed copy of the offer in my office. I possibly could sign in off my phone and get to my email, but it gets a little bit hard to figure out what's going on.
If you could just send a copy of that to Lindsay tomorrow,
Yeah.
that would be fine.
I can send a copy of that tomorrow. It
Great.
is signed, it was signed a while back. And he's moving forward with this. He's been a contract, he built his house, he knows what he's doing. He's built his house from scratch that he's lived in. He's dealt with different contractors. He's getting people lined up to do this, and he's got a company that really does most of the project on their own. And it's a prefabricated structure, so they come in and they slap it up with a crane, and then it's finished work after that. And as far as being a pool hall, it's gonna, they're gonna come in for a giant carpet, I imagine. And it's gonna cover, 3/4 of the building, and a couple bathrooms and a bar and a small office area actually on the second, just above the bar. He's gonna put a small office area and storage. Is his plan. I think
What What bank is he using for financing?
He's dealing with Easthampton, I do believe. Let me just... I know I have the name of the person he's been dealing with here somewhere with me. Greenfield Savings, actually. AJ Graciano is the person he's dealing with at Greenfield Savings. As well as Alan Kronick with the Small Business Council.
Well, my suggestion to the board would be that this is fine, we will grant this, but it's contingent on the purchase of this property, this particular property that he's talking about for granting this extension, which I think the DOR is going to say the same thing. If that doesn't go through, that he's going to have to start all over again, requesting an extension. He, has to stay with the same plan that he's presenting right now, the same financing, the same property, and everything else, because this is what he's telling us that he is doing.
Yeah.
So if this changes...
He said he's moving forward, and I mean, barring any unforeseen circumstances, I mean, he's moving forward with this. The realtor to the property has represented to him that he believes the property will be suitable for this purpose, and that was Goggins Realty.
Mm-hmm.
And they believe it will be suitable for the purpose. And his plan is he's building a pool hall, and he's absolutely going through with it, and he's pushing as hard as he can. And he was very close in negotiations regarding rental at Eastworks, but that broke down, and he's moving on to the next, and he's trying to get it done. So his plan hasn't changed dramatically as far as what his business plan is. It has changed in one regard from a rental business model to a purchase business model, but his overall plan has been that of the pool hall with bar, and that has not changed.
When does the license need to be renewed by?
We're renewing this month so that all the licenses can be in the board for December meeting.
Okay.
And be signed off of and sent to the state. So I need Rich Senecal to sign off on the license. The DOR made clear that he is responsible for the fees, the license renewal.
So we can't.
So the PAN license is essentially going to be renewed, but under DOR's signature.
Yeah.
Because we can't renew it under his entity because it's not.
He doesn't own it,
Placed.
yeah.
So we can't place the contingency on him getting this property because he's not going to be.
He's not the license holder still.
No.
Essentially, DOR still holds it until.
Right, and just like DOR says in their letter here, that it's dependent on what he has presented to the DOR, that is why the DOR is giving him an extension. That we will back the DOR in what they say if this plan does not go through like he has presented this. His extension is being granted for what he has just presented. If he changes what he's presenting to us, then if DOR does not agree to an extension, we're not going to agree to an extension. Is that understood?
Yep, so if it changes at all, we'll certainly, I mean, if anything does change at all, we'll certainly be in contact immediately with you and with DOR. Again, barring any unforeseen circumstances, you can never say for certain anything in life, I guess, besides death and taxes, but he's very determined to go forward with this.
And he understands that this check that he's giving now is not refundable.
Yes, this is for...
Even if his plans fall through, it is not refundable, just like it's not refundable if he doesn't get his license.
Yeah.
He's paid that, so. Okay, you can take the check and you can relay the message to him.
All right, I'll relay the message to him. And is there any other questions you guys have? And anything else you need besides the signed offer sent? I will email that tomorrow.
No, Lindsay, you'll take care of getting it to the dealer.
Is that all? Thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Great. Update on legislative license request.
Do we need a motion to approve the extension or?
Oh, yes, we may. Oh, no, that was, thank you.
Is this a DOR thing more or I just want to make sure.
I don't know. I think it was our discussion on old, new,
Yeah, just a discussion.
yeah.
Okay, perfect, just wanna make sure. Okay, legislative license request update, nothing, sorry. Dan Carey brought it to the house, we're waiting. I was hoping we'd have an update by now, that was my hopeful thinking.
I gotta head out.
Okay,
Thank you very
thank
much.
you.
Good night. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good night. You're welcome.
So,
Again-
license with DOR is the updating.
I really think that we need to go down the, once again, look at amending
Mhm.
the previous issued licenses with the location locked in on
I
them.
did send an email to Hunnison's office asking if we could do that, and I haven't gotten a response yet.
Could you send it again? Yeah. I really think that we need to have a plan B.
Okay,
I've never, probably get in on this until after
so
Tuesday.
after Tuesday, that's what I'm thinking too. Well, I sent it to the staff, so, hopefully, that was a couple weeks back.
All right, update on renewals, you just told us.
Yeah. Yeah, so like Cernak doesn't want to provide bonding information because they've never had to do that. Every other place in the past administration, on all the renewals, it says, provide your business certificate, your bond information, and your check. Except for last year, we didn't do the business certificate portion, so everyone's saying, we've never had to do this, we don't know what it is. So I thought it may be a business certificate from Barbara, what they filed, but then Stan told me maybe not. So just go forward with state Secretary of State.
Yeah, if there's something if there's something for what the license is in, the name that the license is in,
Yeah.
if it's an LLC, a incorporated, it's an entity that's filed with the Secretary of State.
Okay.
They can pull that certificate.
I could look it on the computer even if
That's a certificate of good standing.
Right.
I think what they're looking for on ours is that they are a legitimate business.
Yeah.
So if you're like, Kelly selling eggs, doing business as Hidden Meadow Farms, I should have a business certificate because I'm not with the Secretary of State. So that's why, and that's a lot of these car dealerships have doing businesses as. It's not the same as what their business is in. So that's why they have to have certificates of business
So that
certificates.
depends on if they're an LLC incorporated or.
Maybe we should say that on their applications,
Yeah.
what they are.
So we don't have a formal application for car licenses. For renewals, like I don't have anything for, it's just
Well,
provide
we
your
must,
bond, your.
yeah, because I know they have to have that they have to send it into the state, because remember last year, there was something wrong with some of them, that we had to
Okay.
correct them? Because remember, I
Well, yeah,
remember.
that was just like the names and stuff, like people
Right.
changed their names and their managers, but like last year, Alan didn't show me any type of application either, it's just.
And there's nothing
Set
from
back.
the years before.
Not for cars, no.
There's gotta be something for every year. I mean, every year that
Yeah.
I've sat on here, we've signed licenses.
Right.
And that's going back to when Nikki was.
So maybe we just didn't keep this portion of it because we send it off, or?
No, those we don't send anywhere.
Okay.
We keep,
Just keep it
those
here.
we would keep and give the copies to the
Right.
business owners. So there should be copies, and
Well,
I
that's just a
know
copy
like
of their license, not of any type of
application, you mean.
application, yeah.
Would it have been emailed to them that you could look at emails?
I did rummage quite frantically through Alan's emails before I sent out the memo.
Go back to Nikki's, could you still,
I don't have the emails.
because she would have been the one that sent them out, the
Yeah.
previous to Alan.
Okay.
But that's where that would have been, and they could be under something else. Auto dealerships,
Yeah.
try to find some different ways. But somebody to talk to who would be very not contentious to you would be Kathy at Easthampton Tire.
Okay.
She's been doing it forever and a day, and she would probably like say, this is the past, just
Yeah.
call and say, I'm new at this, can you help me? What has the town given you in the past to
Okay.
renew your license? Any other we talked about the license with the DOR for Pan, and you should call it Peter Pan instead of Pan, so, you know, if anybody ever moves
Yeah.
back. Any other things you want to bring up?
Yeah, so applications coming in for board should be going to Joe for review, because they're not technically mayoral appointments.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Are we getting applications?
we've got one.
Okay.
From someone who sat on the zoning board for 10 years, Anthony Varela. I feel like he also did like our woman.
I don't know.
But that's all I've got.
Okay.
We did advertise that on the city Facebook page, and a lot of people questioned why it has to be a Republican. So I did a general, this is Mass General Law,
Perfect.
and today even just updated with here's a link to the Mass General Law. So people are like, what? Who decides who the top parties are? I'm like, Mass General Law.
Yeah,
No, like, I can't tell you anything about
That's-
it.
that's
Bring it
the
up with the
only-
state. I don't
That's
know.
the only way. It
Yeah.
goes back to prohibition times.
Right.
That no one party has more power than the other.
Yeah.
And independent really isn't a party, it's just under the law.
Right.
So that doesn't count. So it's either a D or an R.
Yeah, it says from the two leading parties.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we have a D and an I,
Yeah.
so it has to be an R.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay.
Time's up.
All right. Can I have a motion to close the meeting?
Motion to close the meeting.
I second that. All in favor?